I was wondering what benefit you saw in Spencer being a part of the C12. Or if you could talk a little bit about that.
I love that question.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
And define C12 for everybody.
C12, well,
you want me to
define C12 because I can tell you how it's felt, but I'm not in there.
Yeah, okay. So C12 is a group of 12 Christian business owners that form effectively a round table. And everyone is in a different place. Some are kind of Christian in name only, and some people are very faith-based, and so it's a wide variety there. But the 12 business owners come together, and we meet once a month, and it is a meeting from 7:30 in the morning to 2:30 in the afternoon. So it is no joke. It is 7 hours of meetings, and we talk about what is going on in our businesses and the types of challenges that we're facing. There's an economic lesson that's in there. There's a spiritual lesson that's in there. And then the second half of C12 is where one of the 12 business owners does what's called their core presentation, where you have to present for 2 hours on your business. And you present full financials, you present everything, all within the confidence of that table of 12 individuals. And it's men and women, some for-profit businesses and some not-for-profit. And you would never know that there was any religious affiliation with the organization during that core business presentation. In fact, you might be convinced there was not, because they are ruthless on you in presenting your business. So that's the C12 piece. When you do your core presentation, you have the optionality of bringing your spouse to that meeting to where they get to also participate in that.
C12 has been such a blessing to our family. We've been believers since we met. I would say that our faith, especially in the last couple of years, has become an even bigger part of our lives. Just, sometimes when you go through challenges, that's what underpins you even more. And so it's been growing, and C12 has been a big part of that. So Spencer's commitment to go and be part of this organization, whatever's happening in his business. Literally, he had a C12 meeting Tuesday before we left Wednesday for this expo, and he had his phone off all day to be at the C12 meeting. And so that's been part of the spiritual discipline and growth I've seen in Spencer, is just being willing to say, if I believe I'm a steward of this company and that this has a greater calling, I have to trust that I have to invest in myself and others and put my phone away and be present for this development piece. And so it's grown that spiritual muscle in him in a way that has yielded tremendous dividends, as we've already said, in our home.
Yeah.
And then
you might hear like YPO, YEO would be kind of non-religious equivalents of that. And there's C12 chapters across the United States, and they have a booth here in the expo. So they're here to be able to talk about that, but they're all across the United States too. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
Oh no, please do. Dewey is at the booth here, and Dewey is actually Spencer's mentor, business associate at C12, and he's wonderful. So you can meet Dewey. The last thing I'll say is I got the privilege of sitting in on Spencer's first core presentation, and it's a gauntlet. And they go around and they critique him one at a time. Here's the risks I see. Here's your blind spots. And they are very brutal in the most loving way possible. But the best is that they would ask me questions, and they'd say, this business looks like it's doing well here. I see this business strategy there. How is he at home? Because I couldn't care less if he's successful here, if he's not showing up for your kids, if he's not showing up for you. And so they ask me those questions in front of him and then hold him accountable the rest of the year. And so he's doing great, but I appreciate as a wife.
United. You remember the United Front part? Yeah, the United. Yeah.
But I do so appreciate that takes it off, right? Like as a wife, these things that if you're trying to hold them accountable behind the scenes, a united front, but still being a helpmate and hold them accountable to be the best version of themselves, it's been a stopgap where I say, I can trust the Lord and these peers to push you in that area. This isn't mine to do. And that's been really valuable.
Yeah, cool.
Is there any more questions? Zoe would be happy to bring the mic
there we go.
Right over here.
Clearly you have a very large business, and it would be daunting for most anybody at any stage in their life. You've done it very quickly, very large, at a very young age. How do you keep from getting caught up in the whirlpool?
Yeah. Caught in the whirlpool.
Being drugged down.
Yeah.
It's a great question.
Well, it gave me goosebumps just that question. That's the honest truth. So, here's my honest answer with it. This is again it's a faith-based answer here, is that I really view that I'm a steward of the business opportunity that I have. I truly believe that God's given me this business to manage and this opportunity, and I'm going to do my best to manage it while He sees fit for me to manage it. And that's given me a different perspective that has given me the courage to be able to do what we're doing now. Is that obviously it comes at tremendous risk. But I'll tell you, I've had the opportunity to be around a lot of very, very wealthy people in so many different avenues of my life. And I've seen a lot of people that really are tortured by their wealth, and they're tortured by the responsibility. It's like the more that you have, sometimes the more that it burdens you, and the more fear that it can create. And I've used some people that have shown me lessons to be like, and I've also seen people that are warnings to not be like. And so for me, that is a journey that I've been on over time to have to grow in my own kind of faith-based walk there. I used to, when I was in my 20s, I used to think, I used to plot my net worth and view that as my self-worth. And it was one of the most torturous things that I did to myself. And that's a true story. I mean, it's me being vulnerable in the moment, is that I used to want to see my net worth. And I associated that with my worth and my value as a provider to Carli and all of those things. So I think I've had to have those things broken in me. And I feel like I recognize too that this is at a young age and a lot of things. And I just feel like that, God's brought me into this spot for such a time as this. And I'm just going to do everything that I can to be a good steward of the opportunity and try to shepherd this group of 6,000 contractors in a way that will be meaningful and impactful. And I hope that people come away saying, man, he seems different in a way that is not like, oh, he's different and that this is the Spencer Patton show. I hope that people can see something else that is different, that, has them asking an extra question or two.